Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You've probably already seen the video of me shooting the Leica MDA with the Japan Camera Hunter Streetpan and a 25mm from Voigtlander. Well, after seeing the scans and seeing how contrasty they were, and I'm not the best at scanning, I decided that, yeah, scanning in the video is pretty cool, but I thought it'd be even cooler if I can come into the darkroom and get these negatives, which as you can see are extremely transparent. Like they're just like super transparent, and print them, see what I could get on my trusty Ilford warm tone paper. So fiber-based paper, multi-contrast or multi-grade, sorry, paper. And I'm going to be printing that. As always, this video is sponsored by camerastore.com. And yeah, I'm going to do probably 2 to 3 prints on 8x10 paper, unless I feel there's some picture that I want to make bigger. And these prints are not only going to be part of the reward for the Patreons that sponsor this channel, but they're also going to be available for some people that want to purchase them to help this series of videos. My idea will be to shoot a combination of camera, film, and lens that could be interesting to everyone, and then make a darkroom session printing those images, the best of them, and making them available for the viewers. So that way I can catch up on the Patreon rewards, and I can also have some other people that maybe don't like Patreon support the channel through that. So let's get into it. I've just made a contact sheet of the images. Even though I scanned them, as I say, I'm so bad at scanning that I decided that maybe it'd be better to have a contact sheet that I can judge and find the number of the file or the picture that I want to print. I'll be printing on my trusty Devere 5108. I'm going to be printing 35 onto an 8x10. And I'm going to be using an 80mm, which is not the standard for 35, because that way the enlarger is a little higher. It's more comfortable to do if I need to do any dodge and burning and such. I'll explain if I do any steps like that, and I'll explain what kind of contrast I might start with. Knowing that the Japan Camera Hunter came out so black and white, so much high contrast out of the images, I'm going to probably try printing on a lower contrast, and if I need to bring it up later. So let's get into it. Coming to the enlarger, I use a color head, so I use magenta and yellow to achieve the color grading. I have a little cheat sheet here. It comes in the Ilford multi-grade paper, and I basically go for grade 2. I'm going to start with grade 2. I already have a negative that I enjoyed. I'm going to put the picture right now that is the scan, so you guys can see. And basically grade 2 I think will suit it. I'm printing on an 8x10 sheet of paper, which is basically like an A4. This is a test print that I did of my kid a while ago. So 8x10 fiber-based, so it'll curl like this, and we'll see how it works. So yeah, the enlarger, the timer, and it's an f-stop timer by RH Designs, which I really enjoy. So as you can see on the contact print, we started here with a light exposure of around 5 seconds, and we went on thirds of a stop all the way to the top. The top is still too gray. There's not enough black to what I want. Even the frame of the negative is, or the mask or the outside of the negative is still grayish. So we're going to start by this as the minimum step and do another whole contact sheet. So this was 5 point something. Let me check. So on this clock, when I cancel, it'll give me the time and how many steps. So I cancel 6 steps and we started at 566. So I have to start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it counts the initial one, so that's why it's 6. So we're going to start our timer. So I press timer and it says test strip, a third. And we're going to start at 17.9 and grow from there. Now I'm doing it sideways because I'd rather. So here we have the next test strip, and the first one is still slightly gray, as we can see. The next one looks a little better, but I would say it's there with the last one. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think between 3 and 4 should be good. So as we're a third of a stop, which is a pretty big amount, I'm gonna go to the third and add, instead of thirds of a stop, I'm gonna add a little bit more and see how that comes. This is fiber-based paper, and fiber-based paper tends to have a dry down, so it darkens when it dries. So maybe you choose this one, and even though it doesn't look perfect, when it dries it will. Some people get exactly the amount of dry down. I still have never done it, so I'm sort of scared. So I lose a lot of prints like that. I should probably try. So if someone's watching this and knows how to check dry down, please explain it to me or point me the right direction, because I don't really know how to do it. So yeah, we're gonna go to step number 3 and do a print with a bit more than that. So cancel 4 steps, and now we go 3 steps up. 1, 2, 3. And then as we set a little bit more, we have to, I click 24th and I add, for example, a couple 24ths. So there we go, 39, and we go back to thirds. And let's do one print like that. I have to say, as bad as this film looks scanned, at least with my technique, it looks pretty darn good on paper. It's almost like it would have had infrared. Like, look at that sky, it's like black. This was a blue sky. Blue sky. The titanium looks great. I might take away those few extra seconds that I added, because it looks really good just like that. So I just changed the negative, and I did the first contact print at grade 2, which worked fine for the previous one. But now, doing this one, look, let me show you the contact print. But doing this one, you can see that the contrast looks kind of, you know, very flat and muddy. So I'm gonna go from doing a contrast number 2 to probably a contrast number 3, and see if I can get more separation between the highlights and the dark areas or shadows. So I'm gonna change to contrast 3, basically because at contrast 2, that print looks too flat and dull, even though the street pan from Japan Camera Hunter is extremely contrasty, but I feel this really needs a little extra punch. As I said previously, I have my cheat sheet here. So from contrast 2 to contrast 3, you have to go yellow. I put stickers because the lamps inside went off, so I just put stickers and it's easier. I never use cyan, so only magenta and yellow. So yellow has to be 23 for this color head, and magenta has to be 56. The more magenta you include, the more basically contrast you're going to have. So more of a black and white print only, and not such grays. So if you want to bring the whites into a gray, you want to go down in contrast, and if you want to bring the whites to be white and the blacks to be very black, you go into a higher contrast. That also works when you're doing split printing, so you split contrast, so you do first all the print at 0 contrast and then 5 contrast, but that's a totally different topic that I'll do another day. So now I've changed my contrast. Let me do that contact test strip again and see how it looks. So I just finished doing a print at grade 3, and you can't probably see it too much, but it still looks pretty dull. So I think I'm going to push it. The blacks are not really black and the whites are kind of the medium gray. So I'm going to push it to basically grade 4, which I think I've never printed so high. So I'm going to keep on going looking for that. But yeah, look at this, guys. It's just kind of muddy gray. I mean, the exposure might be hard to see, but it does look pretty grayish. The black doesn't look black. They should be black, and the water was almost black. It was actually brown, but I think this film renders certain colors just all black. So I just turned off the enlarger. I've done 3 different frames, 5 prints of each, so there's going to be 15 prints, and this is my little enlarger log, which I just draw on a notebook that I got for free. Frame number, little drawing, which, you know, I should pursue drawing as a career. The enlarger height, the bottom and the top, just in case. 80 millimeters is the lens I used. f8 is the aperture, 8x10 warm tone, and then the time at the grade of contrast. So the first one was grade 2 and the second one was grade 4 and grade 3.5. So very different grading, but I wanted to keep a nice separation between whites and blacks. But I have to say the Japan Camera Hunter Streetpan 400 film has printed amazingly well. I really didn't expect this film to be so nice in the darkroom. I knew it was very contrasty and the blacks were going to be very deep, but I was very pleasantly surprised right now by how this looks. As I said, the prints will be 5 prints of each, and some will go to Patreon, some will go to the store on the bottom. So if you want to support the channel, prints are going to be fiber-based. They're going to be, you know, flattened. I'm going to be spotting them. I'll do a little letter to thank you, whoever supports through buying a print, and those on Patreon. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'll show you the prints when I'm flattening them so you can see how they look. But I'm very excited. Gonna need to wash them for a whole hour, which is gonna be annoying, but that's what happens with fiber-based paper.